In a world where attention is currency and validation feels like oxygen, it's easy to forget who holds the real power: you. This message is a reminder that mental strength isn't about coldness, it's about knowing your values so clearly that you never plead for love, attention, or respect. Self-respect is the quiet force that determines how you think, act, and allow others to treat you. It is the inner recognition that your life has value and that your worth is not a bargain to be negotiated. When you truly understand this, you stop chasing approval like a thirsty traveler searching for water in a desert. You stop waiting for someone else to confirm what you should already know: that you matter. People often confuse self-respect with arrogance, but they are worlds apart. Arrogance is loud and fragile, built on insecurity. Self-respect is steady and calm, built on an unshakable understanding of your own dignity. To cultivate this strength, begin by examining the way you talk to yourself. Every word, every thought is a signal to your subconscious about how much you believe in your own value. If you constantly criticize or belittle yourself, you are teaching your mind that you are unworthy of good treatment, both from yourself and from others. Replace harsh inner dialogue with firm but kind truths. Instead of saying, "I can't," start saying, "I'm learning." Instead of, "I'm not enough," remind yourself, "I am growing and capable." These small changes become the foundation of an unbreakable attitude. Self-respect also shows in the boundaries you set. When you say yes to everything, you may feel helpful in the moment, but you quietly train the world to overlook your needs. Boundaries are not walls, they are clear lines that protect your energy and values. Saying no when something violates your principles is not selfish, it is an act of self-preservation. People may push back at first, especially if they are used to you always agreeing. Stay firm. Those who truly value you will adapt. Those who do not were never in your corner to begin with. Another part of self-respect is keeping promises to yourself. Many people keep commitments to others, yet break their own goals at the first sign of difficulty. Every time you skip the workout you planned, abandon a personal project, or ignore your own needs, you teach yourself that your word does not matter. Start small. If you promise yourself you'll wake up early, do it. If you set a goal to save money or read a book, follow through. Each fulfilled promise strengthens the belief that you can rely on yourself, and that belief radiates outward for others to see. Your environment plays a powerful role as well. Surround yourself with people who uplift and challenge you, not those who drain your spirit or belittle your dreams. Self-respect thrives when you are in the company of those who value honesty, growth, and mutual encouragement. This doesn't mean cutting people off without compassion. It means making conscious choices about where you invest your time and heart. Energy is contagious. When you spend time with those who respect themselves, you naturally elevate your own standards. Finally, remember that self-respect is not about perfection. It is about progress and steadiness. You will make mistakes. You will have moments of doubt. What matters is that you return to that quiet inner truth. You are worthy, you are capable, and your worth is not dependent on anyone's approval. Walk into each day with the knowledge that your value is already complete. When you carry yourself with that quiet confidence, you no longer need to beg for love, attention, or respect. Instead, you attract relationships and opportunities that reflect the dignity you've already claimed within yourself. Emotional independence is the quiet strength that allows a person to move through life without being ruled by the shifting moods and opinions of others. It is not a cold detachment from the world, but rather a deep understanding that your sense of worth and peace of mind must be built from within. Many people live as if their happiness is a reflection in someone else's mirror. They wait for approval, crave praise, and fear rejection. In that state, every compliment feels like a lifeline, and every criticism feels like a wound. But when you decide to claim emotional independence, you step off that roller coaster and start walking on solid ground. To build this kind of inner stability, begin by recognizing where your emotions come from. They are not gifts or curses handed to you by other people. They are responses generated in your own mind. When someone speaks harshly or disappoints you, the feeling that follows is shaped not only by their words, but by the meaning you assign to them. If you believe their opinion defines you, you will hurt. If you remember that your value is inherent and unshaken, you remain centered. This awareness is the first layer of strength. Next, practice observing your emotions instead of instantly reacting to them. When frustration, jealousy, or sadness arise, pause. Take a breath and notice the feeling as if you were watching clouds drift across the sky. By naming the emotion, I feel anger or I feel anxious, you separate it from your identity. You are not anger itself, you are the observer of it. This small gap gives you the freedom to choose your next action instead of being swept away by impulse. Another key step is taking responsibility for your inner life. It can be tempting to say they made me angry or she ruined my day, but the truth is that no one can control your state of mind without your permission. This does not mean ignoring injustice or tolerating mistreatment. It means refusing to hand over the keys to your emotional house. You can acknowledge a hurtful situation, address it with clarity, and still keep your core calm and strong. Boundaries naturally follow. When you no longer depend on others to fill you with happiness, you stop tolerating relationships that drain you. You learn to say no without guilt, to step away from those who manipulate or disrespect you. Instead of begging for attention, you begin to attract healthy connections built on mutual respect. People sense when someone is grounded. It commands quiet admiration far more powerful than desperation ever could. Daily habits help fortify this independence. Regular reflection, whether through journaling, meditation, or simple moments of silence, creates space between stimulus and response. Physical discipline, exercise, proper rest, mindful breathing, keeps the body steady so the mind can stay clear. These practices are not escapes from life. They are training for life's inevitable challenges. Over time, emotional independence becomes a natural state. You will still feel joy, love, and even pain, but you will experience them as part of the human journey rather than as forces that control you. Praise will be pleasant, not essential. Criticism will offer lessons, not devastation. In this way, you reclaim the deepest freedom, the ability to remain whole regardless of what others do or say. When you stand on that foundation, you can give and receive love freely, not from need, but from strength. Boundaries are the quiet architecture of a strong mind. They are not walls built to isolate you from the world. They are lines of clarity that protect your energy, your time, and your self-respect. When you begin to set clear limits, you are sending a message not only to others, but to yourself. My life, my feelings, and my priorities matter. Many people hesitate to draw these lines because they fear rejection, conflict, or the loss of affection. But the truth is that healthy relationships, whether personal, professional, or social, can only exist where boundaries are honored. The first step in creating boundaries is self-awareness. You must know what matters to you, what drains you, and what strengthens you. If you don't understand your own needs and values, you cannot expect others to respect them. Take time to observe where you feel resentment or exhaustion. Those emotions are signals pointing to places where you are giving more than you should or where someone is taking more than you have agreed to give. Recognizing these signals is an act of self-education. It teaches you how to protect your emotional well-being. Once you understand your limits, the next step is communication. A boundary kept silent is a wish, not a boundary. Speak clearly, calmly, and without apology. A simple statement like, "I'm not available for that right now," or "I need time to think before I commit," carries strength without aggression. This is not about controlling others, it is about taking responsibility for yourself. When you communicate with respect and firmness, you teach people how to treat you, and you simultaneously reinforce your own sense of worth. Many fear that saying no will make them appear selfish, but the opposite is true. People who respect their own limits are often more reliable, more generous, and more present in their relationships. By managing your energy, you avoid burnout and resentment. You show up fully for the people and tasks that truly matter because you are not scattered thin by endless obligations. Boundaries free you to give your best where it counts most. Enforcing a boundary can be challenging, especially when others push back. Some may test your resolve or react with surprise when you begin to stand firm. This is natural. Habits and dynamics take time to change. Remain consistent. You do not need to argue or justify. Quiet consistency speaks louder than explanations. Each time you hold a boundary, you strengthen your mental resilience and teach others that your limits are not negotiable. Over time, setting and maintaining boundaries transforms your relationship with yourself. You stop seeking approval through overgiving or overpleasing. You begin to value your own needs and desires as much as those of others. This inner shift builds confidence and calm. You move through the world with a quiet authority, knowing that you can be generous without being depleted, loving without being controlled, and connected without being consumed. Boundaries are acts of love, love for your own growth and well-being, and love for the truth that healthy connections require mutual respect. They are the invisible framework that allows you to stand tall, speak honestly, and live freely. When you embrace this practice, you are not shutting people out, you are inviting in only what nourishes your life, and that is the foundation of real strength. Challenges are the hidden architects of a strong mind. Every difficulty you face, every unexpected twist in life, carries within it an opportunity to rise above your current limits. When you meet adversity, you are given a chance to see what you are truly made of. It strips away comfort and forces you to confront parts of yourself you might never have discovered in easy times. Think about the people you admire most, those who seem unshakable and wise. Almost every one of them earned that strength by walking through fire. They weren't handed resilience, they built it through experience, sometimes through failure, and always through persistence. Adversity teaches lessons that no classroom or book can deliver. When plans fall apart, you learn flexibility. When someone betrays you, you discover the power of forgiveness and the necessity of caution. When you lose something you thought you couldn't live without, you find out how much you can actually endure. Each trial reshapes your perspective, sharpening your priorities and clarifying what truly matters. It's in those moments of discomfort that your character is molded. The muscles of the mind, like the muscles of the body, grow only when they are tested and pushed. Many people try to avoid pain at all costs, believing comfort is the same as happiness. But a life wrapped in constant ease produces fragility. Avoiding struggle doesn't protect you, it weakens you. Just as a tree that never faces wind grows shallow roots, a person who never faces difficulty remains unprepared for life's inevitable storms. The wind strengthens the tree, the challenge strengthens you. Each obstacle you overcome is a silent vote for your own inner power. It's a quiet confirmation that you are capable of more than you once believed. Embracing adversity doesn't mean seeking suffering or enjoying hardship. It means refusing to let fear of difficulty dictate your path. It means understanding that setbacks are part of the journey, not the end of it. When you approach challenges with this mindset, they lose their power to break you. Instead, they become stepping stones to higher ground. A failed project teaches more about strategy than an easy success. A broken relationship reveals more about love, trust, and personal growth than years of comfort ever could. Mental strength is not built in moments of applause, but in hours of perseverance when no one is watching. It's in the nights when you keep working despite fatigue, the mornings when you rise after disappointment, and the decisions to act with integrity when shortcuts seem tempting. Adversity refines you, the way fire refines gold. The heat is uncomfortable, even painful, but what emerges is pure, stronger, and infinitely more valuable. So when life places an obstacle in your path, see it for what it truly is, a masterclass in resilience. Don't run from it. Face it with steady determination, knowing that each challenge is shaping you into a person of depth and durability. With every difficulty you overcome, you are not merely surviving, you are transforming. You are cultivating a mind that can weather storms, a heart that can stay steady, and a spirit that grows stronger with each test. This is how adversity becomes the silent, uncredited teacher of greatness, and how every hardship, no matter how heavy, becomes a foundation for lasting mental strength. Focusing on inner goals is the quiet engine of a powerful life. Too often we are pulled in every direction by the noise of other people's expectations, family, friends, social media, even strangers we will never meet. We chase applause, likes, and fleeting recognition, but none of it provides lasting satisfaction. True fulfillment starts when you redirect your attention from the outside world to the mission within. Your deepest ambitions, values, and principles form a compass that will guide you through confusion and distraction. When you live by that compass, your decisions become clearer, your energy steadier, and your sense of purpose unshakable. Begin by asking yourself what truly matters beyond momentary approval. It might be mastering a skill, building a meaningful career, or cultivating wisdom and compassion. Whatever it is, it lives in the quiet corners of your own mind and heart. When you listen to that inner calling, you start to recognize the difference between goals that feed the soul and those that merely impress others. This self-awareness shields you from the endless comparisons that drain confidence. You stop measuring success by someone else's yardstick and start creating a standard of your own. Focusing inward does not mean isolation or selfishness. It means aligning your daily actions with your personal values so that every step, however small, moves you closer to the life you were meant to build. It means you set priorities based on long-term growth instead of short-term excitement. You may decline certain invitations, say no to projects that don't fit your vision, or spend more time in study and reflection. These choices might confuse people who rely on constant external validation, but they will free you to channel your energy into work that endures. As you strengthen this internal focus, discipline becomes a natural ally. Distractions lose their grip when you're anchored to something larger than yourself. You wake up earlier not because someone is watching, but because your mission deserves the best hours of your day. You choose learning over idle scrolling, exercise over comfort, and practice over procrastination. These habits compound quietly. Over months and years, they transform not only what you achieve, but who you are becoming. There will be moments when the outside world still calls loudly. Recognition and approval can feel tempting, especially when they arrive in waves. But lasting peace doesn't come from applause. It comes from knowing you stayed true to your own vision. When setbacks occur, and they will, you will recover faster because your confidence is rooted in personal commitment, not public opinion. You are no longer swayed by trends or the unpredictable moods of others. Your progress is measured by the growth of your character and the steady pursuit of what matters most to you. This inner focus is not a single decision but a daily practice. Each morning offers a fresh chance to recommit to your purpose, to refine your goals, and to act on them with patience and persistence. Over time, the gap between who you are and who you aim to be narrows. That quiet alignment between intention and action becomes a source of unshakable strength. When your heart and your work move in the same direction, you discover a deeper satisfaction than any applause could ever provide. Discipline is the quiet force that separates fleeting desires from lasting achievement. It is the ability to choose what you know is right over what simply feels good in the moment. Many people are driven by impulses, emotions that whisper tempting shortcuts or easy escapes. But those who develop discipline understand that every action either strengthens or weakens their future. When you practice discipline, you become the architect of your own life instead of a passenger on someone else's path. At its core, discipline means keeping promises to yourself even when no one is watching. It is waking up when you said you would, finishing the task you planned, and maintaining your standards when distractions and temptations appear. This steadiness builds a deep sense of trust within yourself. When you consistently follow through, you learn that your word, to yourself, carries weight. That inner trust is a foundation for mental strength. Because you stop depending on external motivation, you act because you decided to act, not because someone is urging you forward. Desire, by contrast, is unpredictable. It can be exciting and inspiring, but it often burns bright and fades quickly. Desire wants the reward without the process. It craves comfort, applause, and quick results. Discipline is different. It recognizes that true success rarely happens overnight. It embraces routine, repetition, and gradual improvement. Whether you're building a career, developing a skill, or shaping a healthy lifestyle, discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. The mind resists discipline at first. It whispers that you can delay the effort, that a small break won't matter. But each time you give in, you teach yourself that excuses hold more power than goals. The opposite is also true. Every time you choose discipline over desire, you strengthen the mental muscles that lead to freedom. Eventually, what once felt like a heavy burden becomes second nature. Discipline transforms from an external demand into an internal rhythm. Consider how discipline shows up in small, everyday moments. Choosing a balanced meal when fast food is tempting. Turning off a screen to focus on reading or learning. Staying calm in a heated conversation instead of reacting in anger. These choices might seem minor, but together they shape character. They create a life guided by deliberate decisions instead of fleeting moods. Over time, discipline builds resilience. It trains you to stay steady when challenges arise, because you've already proven to yourself that you can persist. Discipline also protects your values. When you are clear about what matters, health, integrity, growth, you use discipline to keep those priorities safe from compromise. This doesn't mean denying joy or suppressing all desires. It means recognizing that some pleasures are momentary while others are lasting. Discipline helps you invest in the lasting kind. Strong relationships, meaningful work, personal mastery. It teaches you to delay gratification for a deeper reward. Ultimately, discipline is freedom. It frees you from the pull of impulse and the control of circumstance. It allows you to move toward goals with confidence because you trust your ability to act regardless of mood. While desire may spark the first idea, discipline carries it across the finish line. When you commit to this path, you stop being ruled by fleeting wants and start living with purpose, strength, and unwavering direction. Solitude is often misunderstood as loneliness, but the two could not be more different. Loneliness is a feeling of emptiness, a sense of lacking something or someone. Solitude, on the other hand, is a conscious choice to be with yourself, to sit quietly with your own thoughts and emotions. In a world that celebrates constant connection and endless distraction, choosing solitude is a radical act of strength. It requires courage to step away from the noise, to silence the notifications, and to face the unfiltered conversation that happens only within your own mind. When you allow yourself time alone, you begin to hear the subtle voice of your inner wisdom. Daily life is full of external influences, opinions, judgments, expectations that can cloud your vision. Solitude clears the fog. It allows you to process experiences, to reflect on what truly matters, and to listen to your own intuition. In that quiet space, patterns become visible. You see what excites you and what drains you. You recognize which habits serve your growth and which ones hold you back. This kind of clarity is priceless because it leads to intentional living. Without it, you risk drifting through life on autopilot, guided by the noise of the world rather than the compass of your own heart. Spending time alone also strengthens emotional resilience. When you are comfortable in your own company, you no longer depend on others for constant validation. You learn to soothe your own anxieties, to celebrate your own victories, and to motivate yourself when things are hard. This independence doesn't mean you reject relationships. It means you enter them from a place of wholeness instead of need. You bring your full self to others, not a version that seeks to be completed. That shift transforms the way you relate to friends, partners, and colleagues. Connections become richer and more authentic because they are chosen freely, not from fear of being alone. Solitude fuels creativity as well. Some of the world's greatest ideas have been born in moments of quiet reflection. When the chatter fades, your mind starts to wander, explore, and create. You might find yourself sketching a new plan for your career, writing thoughts you didn't know you had, or solving a problem that seemed impossible before. In silence, your imagination stretches without limits because it's not competing with the constant input of other voices. There is also a physical benefit to this practice. Time spent alone can lower stress levels, slow your heart rate, and help you breathe more deeply. It's a reset button for both mind and body. When life feels overwhelming, even a short walk by yourself or a few minutes of mindful breathing can restore a sense of balance. Over time, these small moments of solitude build a reservoir of calm you can draw from during life's storm. Choosing solitude is not about escaping the world. It's about preparing to engage with it more fully. The quiet strengthens you, sharpens your focus, and reminds you of what you stand for. It teaches you that peace and fulfillment come from within, not from the approval or attention of others. By embracing time alone, you develop a strong inner foundation. And when that foundation is solid, you can face challenges, build meaningful relationships, and pursue your goals with a clear mind and a steady heart. Consistency is the silent architect of a powerful mind. Mental strength isn't built in a single dramatic moment. It is the product of countless quiet choices that stack up over time. Every morning you rise with a decision. Will you honor your commitments or drift into excuses? Each small action, waking up when the alarm rings, finishing the task you promised yourself, keeping a promise when it's inconvenient, sends a clear message to your own mind. I can be trusted. That trust becomes the bedrock of inner confidence. Think of every habit as a vote for the person you wish to become. When you choose discipline over comfort, you cast a vote for resilience. When you decide to face a difficult conversation instead of avoiding it, you vote for courage. No single vote makes you unshakable, but the accumulation of hundreds, even thousands of such votes transforms you. Over weeks, months, and years, those small victories become a reputation you hold with yourself, a reputation of reliability and strength that no outside opinion can shatter. Daily effort is more than repetition. It is an investment. The body grows stronger through consistent training, and the mind follows the same law. Reading a few pages of a challenging book each day expands your thinking more than sporadic bursts of information. Practicing patience during everyday frustrations strengthens your emotional control. far better than grand speeches about self-mastery. By turning discipline into a rhythm, you remove the need for constant motivation. The routine carries you when inspiration fades. Challenges will try to break that rhythm. You will feel tired, uninspired, maybe even invisible. Those moments are the true test. Anyone can act with strength when life feels exciting. The difference between the strong and the fragile is persistence when no one is watching and no applause is given. Showing up for yourself in those quiet hours proves that your character is not for sale to convenience. Consistency also creates clarity. As you repeat small, meaningful actions, you begin to notice patterns: what drains your energy, what fuels it, which thoughts bring progress and which ones sabotage it. This awareness gives you leverage. You can refine your habits like a sculptor refining a statue, cutting away what doesn't belong, keeping only what aligns with your highest goals. The beauty of consistent action is that it doesn't demand perfection. Miss a day, stumble on a plan, and you can begin again immediately. What matters is not a flawless record, but a relentless return to the path. Each return strengthens your resilience and proves that setbacks are temporary, never terminal. Over time, the compound effect takes hold. Just as a single drop of water carves stone through persistence, your steady choices carve out a stronger, wiser, calmer version of yourself. People may notice the confidence in your posture or the steadiness in your voice, but they will not see the thousands of unseen efforts behind it. That quiet accumulation is where real power lives. By embracing this steady, day-by-day commitment, you train your mind to trust itself. Respect, love, and attention from others become pleasant additions rather than desperate needs. Your strength is not an act but a natural state, earned through the quiet heroism of showing up every day in small ways until the person you dreamed of becoming is simply who you are.